And those police are going after those students the same way that some IDF Neanderthal goes after a Palestinian child. It's stunning. They're body-slamming professors. America's most prestigious campuses have become occupied territories. And you can see, if you watch the videos, you can see just how much the police, the American police and security forces, have cooperation and collaboration with the Israeli police and security forces. There's no difference. They act the same. They trained each other. They act the same way. You know, Netanyahu said that what's happening on America's campuses reminds him of Nazi Germany. And he's right. He's right. It's just not the way he meant it. The security forces are acting just like the Nazis, cracking down on dissent, cracking down on the conscience of their own nation. That's just what they're doing. They're throttling the moral conscience of America. You know how there's that poem about the Nazis, how they came after the intellectuals and I said nothing. They came after the Jews and I said nothing, and now they come after me. Well, America, they came for the Palestinians and you said nothing. They came for the protesters in the streets and you said nothing. And now they're coming for your own best and brightest, your own Ivy League bourgeois ruling class children. I told you before, America's empire is going to die in the rubble of Gaza, and that's just what's happening. Oh, this is a serious problem for you. Those students are the talent pool for your future. They're the ones that you're going to hand over the reins of power to. You trained them up for that. And you can tell that just by how different their protests are. They're not rioting. They're not burning down police stations. They're not looting a CVS. They're not making crazy demands like people who have no experience dealing with politics or with the authorities and so on. No. They're demanding very reasonable demands. They're demanding divestment by their universities from Israel. Very simple. They're protesting in an organized and a disciplined way. They won't even let just anybody talk to the media. They have their own media team, you see? These kids are from the professional class. They probably got a workflow chart and a human resources department for the protesters. These young people have been primed to take over the system. And instead of taking over the system, they're taking the system down. Oh, I'm telling you, you're in a crisis right now. America's in a crisis. You know, I saw some politicians said that there appears to be a foreign element behind what's going on the universities. You know, like a foreign power that's instigating and agitating. And yes, there is. And we all know which foreign power that is. We all know which foreign country is stoking this crisis. And it sure isn't Russia. And it sure isn't China. No. Well, if you wondered why those kids want their schools to divest from Israel, just look at how their schools are treating them because they dared to ask for that. Those universities are doing the bidding of Israel, not the bidding of China or the bidding of Russia. They're not even doing the bidding of those kids' parents and those kids' families. And your police are doing the same. So yes, there is a foreign power behind all this, and it's precisely that foreign power that the students want their schools to extricate themselves from, and it's very obvious to everyone why. Couldn't be more obvious. It's as obvious as a baton cracked on the side of your head. Look, on these campuses, like in Harvard and the Ivy League campuses and so on, you had demonstrations against Russia and in favor of Ukraine. You had that at the Ivy League schools. You had protests against China over Xinjiang and so on. No zip ties, no arrests, no 550 kids going to jail. No. But the moment they start demanding that their schools stop partnering with Israel over a genocide, and all hell breaks loose. There's no mystery about what foreign country is driving that. I mean, you're having protests at MIT. Do you have any idea what MIT is? MIT is basically a wing of the Pentagon. It's an incubator for future policymakers at the State Department. But, you know, the Zionists should have seen this coming. I said it before. They should have seen the writing on the wall in 2020 when this same generation was going around knocking down statues of slave owners and colonizers. They let you know how they feel about that, what their stance is about that. They want nothing to do with colonization. They want to disavow that history. So if they want to distance themselves and disown colonization in their history, what makes you think that they'd be fine with being associated with colonization that's going on today? Because that's all Zionism is. It's nothing but Western colonization, and it always has been. This generation didn't have a chance to try to oppose slavery and colonization a century ago or 2 centuries ago. So they just pulled down all the icons of slavery and colonization everything that they could find. They tore it down. But right now, today, they have the opportunity to actively oppose and fight against present-day colonization in Palestine, and that's what they're doing. I mean, seriously, how could you not see this coming? Were they subtle in 2020? Of course this generation is going to fight you. Of course they're going to reject Zionism. Of course they're going to oppose genocidal colonization. This is their chance. This is their chance to prove that their anger and their guilt about America's crimes in the past, that their anger was genuine. This is their chance to prove to you, to themselves, and to the world that they meant it in 2020 when they knocked down all those statues. This is their chance to manifest the virtue that they were signaling 4 years ago, and that's what they're doing. And the knee-jerk reaction of your so-called civilization, your so-called culture, that's so addicted to colonization and so addicted to brutality, their knee-jerk reflex response is to turn vicious, to turn ugly, to turn oppressive and violent against anyone who's trying to cure them of that addiction. But this time, you're attacking your own future leaders. You're attacking your own precious babies of the elite. And this is just how wild and incurable your addiction is. This is just how morally bankrupt and how corrupt your so-called society, your so-called civilization is. You're willing to sacrifice your own young, your own heirs to power, your own successors to the imperial throne because of your insatiable thirst for the blood of the colonized. You're too drunk on the blood of your victims to know that you are too drunk to lead anymore. These students are trying to tell you, friends don't let friends commit genocide. But then you just turn your blind fury against them. I'm telling you, your power structure is cannibalistic. We're witnessing an American meltdown in real time. It's a tectonic shift. The epicenter is in Gaza, but the shock waves are shaking the foundation of American power. Every time the Israelis launch a missile, I'm telling you, it lands in the United States. And if things keep